Hello, I'm Sheila Young, and I'm here talking with Terry and Steve about my debut novel, Mac. They have lovely Liverpool accents.
Hello, Sheila. Delighted to be chatting with you. Myself and my friend here, Steve Evans.
Hi,
Hello,
Sheila.
how are you?
Good. Yeah, good to meet you. And I'm well, and I hope you are too.
It's
Over
good to
in,
meet you, yes.
Sorry,
All good
and you're
here, all good.
You're in Toronto. Is it sunny in Toronto today?
It is. It's beautiful out today. Beautiful fall day. It's been a beautiful fall. All the colors are fantastic this year. So
Yeah.
I'm just west of Toronto, actually. I'm in a little town called Dundas, about 45 minutes out. So Dundas, yes.
Okay.
Like
Love your
that,
t-shirt.
yeah.
Love that shirt. Me and Steve are both
Thank
admiring.
you. There. Representing
what sort of-
Liverpool.
What sort of temperatures have you got today then?
Right now,
Roughly.
it's about 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. So
Wow, pretty comparable then to us. Yeah,
Yeah.
about the same as us.
So you said you
But
were
we're
at the
a bit-
Liverpool game yesterday?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was about 15-16 at the Liverpool game yesterday, so it was all right. It was just the game wasn't very good considering Liverpool lost at home for the first time for about 7 years, But
I put my
Yeah.
shirt on too late. Sorry about that. Didn't
No.
bring the luck.
Yeah, we did one of you
Good
that
to
had that
see
on
you.
yesterday.
yeah, it's good to see you supporting the right team anyway.
You're welcome.
But yeah, we're both big Red fans, luckily. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I was going to ask, before we go to the main focus, your novel, Mac, tell us what you do outside of writing, what you do to relax, what hobbies?
What hobbies?
Yeah.
I really enjoy going for hikes around here. We have a lot of great nature trails, conservation areas with waterfalls.
Oh, yeah.
I have a big dog that we take out all the time, and
And
I
sing
like
too.
and sing too. Yes, you saw that, did you? he loves it. I'm sure he loves it.
What do you sing?
I actually put his name in songs, so he does. He loves it.
Oh,
Any song will do at the time. Yeah. But no, I really enjoy being near the ocean when I can get to it. That's one of my all-time favorite places to be, sunsets over the ocean. I used to work in the Caribbean, so I miss that a bit. Other than that, I love old movies. I love to be entertained. I love musicals. I love shows. Reading, of course, obviously. Yeah, that's about it. And writing. That's recent, mind you.
Enjoying your reading with a cup of tea and a bit of chocolate by the sounds of it as well.
Yes, I do enjoy chocolate. I actually just said the words out loud the other day. I'd love to try to make my own. So we'll see if that ever happens. But how are things over there with the politics? I don't mean to be asking you questions, but it's been quite the news reports coming in from the UK. Yeah.
Three prime ministers in the past 5 months.
Miraculous.
It's crazy.
It is.
Absolutely manic. It's just unbelievable the way things are going at the minute. It's terrible.
Madness, yeah. But funny from a distance, it's funny to watch.
Yeah. I bet, yeah.
Yeah. Sheila, can I ask about your website and the link tree? Did you create that yourself on Wix? It looks superb.
I did. Oh, you like it? Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm not. It's pretty simple. They make it easy. If I could do it, anyone can. Trust me. But I enjoyed making it. When I started the whole process of writing a book, I thought, I'll give it a whirl. How hard can it be? Was my line all the time. How hard can it be to make a website? How hard? Some of it's hard. Some of it is hard, but they make it pretty simple over there. I was lucky.
What I like is you've put 3 separate links for the different Amazon sites. You've got Amazon Canada, Amazon UK, and Amazon USA. I don't think I've seen that anywhere else. I think I've just seen like one link, to whichever country the writer's in.
I figure it's helpful. It can send you directly to where you need to be, as opposed to have to going through all the rigmarole that comes along with one link oftentimes. So yeah. No, I enjoyed making it though. It was a challenge. I've never done it before, so it was another new thing for me.
I think it looks superb.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
You've got a career in travel, advertising, and entertainment. So was that good background for what was that word? For your experience as a student of human nature, and was it a good background for writing and a fuel for that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I used to work for a resort in the Caribbean where I used to sing in the shows.
Wow.
And part of the job was obviously mingling with the guests and from all over the world. We're talking, I've met people from all over the place, and every week it was 700 new people. So I've met a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of interactions happen. For example, the one week there was 350 New Yorkers mixed with 350 Parisians, and it wasn't a good mix.
Yeah.
You learn to see what works and what doesn't with the interpersonal dynamics sometimes. So I've got to see a lot. I've been fortunate. And then as far as the entertainment goes, I've done a lot of background work for television and movies. I was recurring on both The Handmaid's Tale and Designated Survivor. So I was a Martha on The Handmaid's Tale. And again, it's interesting to meet people in that realm as well and see how they do things. It was interesting as well. So yes, absolutely. Studying of human nature came easily with those jobs. Absolutely.
I've got a vision there of you singing that Roy Orbison song, Blue Bayou, and Linda Ronstadt version as well. Up there
Yes, I could probably do it if I had to. I shy away from country though. It's not my favorite. I've had to sing it before, but I do try to stay away from that.
Okay.
Just for the lyrics alone.
And
I'm going to ask you to sing the Beatles for me since you're from Liverpool. I think you should be singing to me. No pressure.
No, I don't think you want to hear me and Terry.
No, awful.
Oh, Mac.
All right.
Before we all get tongue-tied over singing. So you launched that last year, was it?
It was actually December 27th. I was trying to squeak it in at the end of the year. Right. So I really started letting people know more about it. I'd say the beginning of January was more when I hit my stride in the marketing and everything like that. Did quite well in the opening. I was quite pleased as far as hitting the rankings. Unexpectedly, I was surprised because I hadn't really done a lot of prep work beforehand. I just went for it, and it did quite well in the beginning. So I was very fortunate. So now it's just the progressive marketing that takes some time, and you've got to put your time in with that, with self-publishing especially. Yeah. So
reading the synopsis, it's got a great story about it. I was just wondering whether that story may be based on you as being Mac.
People who have read it often say they see a bit of me in the main character and the mom. Actually, they say they hear my voice in it. I wouldn't say it's based on me. There are going to be some similarities, I think, in any female character I do, really. There's going to be little essence of me. What I've been hearing as well is the dialogue between characters hits true. People get right on into the dialogue happening, especially with the family, the Riley family. Is it based on me? They do some bad things, so I don't want to say it's entirely based on me. I'm gonna fudge that answer a little bit. Yeah.
Some psychopaths in there, isn't there?
What was that?
There's some psychopaths characters.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's the whole premise of the book is it's a group of vigilantes who take it upon themselves to deal with some of the issues that regular law enforcement cannot. So they're dealing with, I go to extremes. There's a bit of cheese. There's a cheese factor to this novel where it's, a little bit James Bond, Mission Impossible, where it's unlikely some of these, but it's fun. It's a fun book. It's a light book, even though there is some violence in it. I don't want to say there isn't violence in it, but I still try to keep it as light as possible throughout with the romance element and the fun interactions, and because I want it to be entertaining. First and foremost.
Escapism.
Absolutely, especially because that's why I wrote it. It was during the pandemic, and there's a lot going on in the world that wasn't great at that time, not just the pandemic. We're talking all the racism and bigotry happening in the news. And so that was, what can I do? And I figured I'd hit it from that angle. I'd go with the book and hit those issues in the book as well, but trying to keep it like I said, to bring the entertainment, because I think everyone needed it at that time. So
Okay.
yeah.
Vigilantes, falling in love, and stabbings all in the same book.
There
Sounds
you
fun
go.
to me.
There you go.
James Bond all over, isn't it?
The
That type
female
of book.
James.
It sounds really good. My type of book, actually.
I might, definitely.
It is very light, and it is my first book. And I wasn't, to be honest, when I started it, I wasn't even acknowledging that I was writing a book. I was just going for it. It was, how they say there's the planners or the pantsers, the ones who fly by the seat of their pants as they're writing. I'm definitely a fly by the seat of my pants, go for it and see what happens. So by the time I hit 55,000 words, I remember this clearly. I was, it's looking like a book.
Sheila, you mentioned self-publishing. Have you been down the long and arduous and frustrating route of trying to connect with a traditional publisher?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Until I joined the writing community on Twitter, I had no idea how difficult it is to break into that industry, just to get an agent, never mind getting published. So I've been watching people with that struggle, and I feel for them greatly, because it's a lot to handle. I imagine people are taking some hits nonstop, and I feel for them. I never considered going the traditional route, surprisingly, just because, like I said, it's my first book. This was very much on a whim, and I wanted to get it out and see how it did and see whether people actually enjoyed it before I went further. Will I consider traditional in the future? Maybe. I'm not going to rule it out, but this is a series that I'm writing. It's the one I'm working on right now is book 2. Another character, one of the other vigilantes, is the main character, but the whole team is in there again. And the thing I like about self-publishing, though, is it's in your hands. You get
You've
it
got
out
control.
right away. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest control freak either, so it's not that aspect necessarily. It's just the timing. People go for years querying, and it's a struggle. And it reminds me of acting, actually. People going to auditions and not getting the part, because the very small percentage actually are working actors, a tiny percentage, right? So it's the same with writing. It appears, and I had no idea it was like that. So it's been an interesting ride the past year, watching others and what they go through. So, and we all celebrate the wins when someone actually gets in, right? So, definitely. But yeah, self-publishing, the struggle with self-publishing, I'd say, is the marketing aspect, trying to maintain that momentum and the interest, and there's no magic formula. You have to finagle your way through various marketing techniques, whether it be Facebook ads or Amazon ads or TikTok, the dreaded TikTok.
It's a Marmite thing, isn't it? People hate it or love it.
Well, I should be loving it because I don't mind doing things like that. I can do things like that, but it's still, I flinch.
You've already mentioned that you're on the second book in the series. Are you planning a long series of this, or is it going to be a trilogy, or what?
Right now, I've got trilogy in mind. Another thing I've really focused on in the sequel as well, in the first one, is inclusivity, because that's what I was miffed about that got me started. So I do have one of the vigilante team task force members is transgender. So that's going to be the third in the trilogy. Because I want to make sure I include elderly people. Elderly, the characters I have, the grandfather and the grandmother. Ageism is another factor that ticks me off at times too. So I want to make sure I get all of that in as well. So I'm working on it.
when's book 2 likely to be done and about to hit the shelves? Are you still a while off?
If I really buckle down and the words flow, it could happen soon, but again, it's just a matter of whether. The other day I wrote 7,000 words and then I've gone a week looking at it blankly,
Wow.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that was a record for me, 7,000. It's usually 2,000 maximum, but the one day it was just, yeah.
Okay, based on that then, you obviously don't have a set routine. You don't set a time aside per day. You just write when you get the inspiration.
Yes, yeah, and it's not that I'm not thinking about it between times. That's when I think a lot of it does get written in my mind. I'm thinking about it, and certain scenes will come to me as I'm just stewing, so and that helps. The little bits in between helps in the long run with me anyways. So
so do you make notes, do you, and jot things down on little stick-it notes and post-it notes and do that?
I should. I should. That would be wise.
I'd have to. I would have to.
Yeah.
I should.
No way I could remember. Yeah.
There's been a few times where I'm, Sheila. Yeah, talking to myself. Why did you not? There was actually a major part in the first book where I was connecting it into a song for the ending. I won't say much about it, but there was a song mentioned, and I forgot all about it. I completely forgot about the lyric I was going to use. And you got to be careful with that too. You can't use lyrics in books. I'm learning a lot. You have to use song titles, right? Unless you get the okay with their copyright people. So yeah. I'm a work in progress. I'm learning.
I know a lot of writers, they keep like they would call a Bible for the characters. For instance, one character may have blue eyes in chapter 3. Chapter 23, he's got hazel eyes. Little things like that. That's what I need. That's why what I've been writing, I have the whole wall is covered in stickers.
Oh, like an investigator.
Actually, yeah, but it's from my memory. You've had a little bit of experience in my thought process. We're trying to get the time zones correct for this, so I have to have these things dotted about.
I'm hitting that stage in a woman's life where the memory's starting to go. I'll walk in a room and be, why am I here? So I should really be on that as well. So.
No, never. You're far too young to be like that. Sure.
Thanks for thinking that.
Anyway, sorry, you were talking about beta readers, and you get your family to read.
My one sister is a former CEO of a library system, so she's a good avenue, and another one is she reads an insane amount, sincerely. So she's already reading the sequel and making notes, and they've been a big help on what ultimately the final say is mine. There was a little bit of a dispute with one brother and a sister thinking this one line should stay in the last one. The other two are no, it shouldn't. And I was the deciding factor on that, obviously, but that's what made me publish it as well. They were, yes, I would read this. So I was okay. So it's worth publishing. Absolutely. So off I went. So
do you get external people as well as your family? Because family can often be more biased to you and not as critical or subjective. Yeah.
The beauty of my family is we are the opposite of that. We keep all of us with our feet firmly on the ground. None of us have big heads.
Okay,
so I'm fortunate.
Yeah, but you obviously had to get an editor at some point to help you out towards the end and get it right, if you like, because you need that subjective view, don't you?
The final, absolutely. I had someone format it for me and do all of that. That I didn't attempt on my own because I know that would have been a huge problem in the end for me. But I did make the cover. I made the cover.
That cover's superb.
Thank you.
That was it's a good cover, isn't it? And we were both wondering who did that for you. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Again, it was one of my, how hard can it be? And then as I start doing it, it can be hard.
Maybe you got there. You're good at this sort of thing, aren't you? How hard can it be? Let's have a go. Websites, covers.
Why not? Yeah.
Book writing. Cool.
And the good thing is the sequel, I have the same format for that book, only I'm changing the color, changing the photos, so they tie in with each other. They'll look like they belong with each other. So
yeah,
it
they
worked
need
out.
to sort of follow on, don't they, and have a bit of a sequence. Otherwise, people just don't recognize it when they see the second book, if you like. So yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes a brand then, I suppose, that related with yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
there's been series I've read where the same thing, they're tied in, like JD Robb with her, but she's Nora Roberts, but she has her own series as JD Robb, and all those books have a similarity. Same thing, different color mixed in, but yeah. So I do kind of take from people that I've read before in a smidge, not a lot, just I factor it in that they've done it that way and succeeded. So I'll just try the same thing. So yeah.
Sheila, can I ask about research? You mentioned inclusivity, and the novel,
Yes.
it travels all over the globe. Did you do much
Yes.
research into the geography or the locations, places you went? Or was this all from your own background as a traveler writer?
A bit of both. The areas that I didn't know much about, like the United Arab Emirates, for example, I researched that a bit, and I only touch on them lightly. It's not like I provide a great deal of, I'm very dialogue heavy. I'm dialogue heavy in the books. So when I do my little descriptions, it's very brief, very short, but enough to where you'd recognize where it was. Especially locally here. I make a lot of local references, which a lot of people were pleased about here in my town and in Toronto area. They recognized, the little local references. But as far as United Arab Emirates, I looked up a few things. Google was a friend for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and same with Switzerland. Yeah, this next one is actually in England, boys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to your
Liverpool, by any chance?
Where? Liverpool? No,
Liverpool? No.
One of the big events happens at Bamberg Castle up northern way. So that's
So Edinburgh.
Just outside. It's more, I think it's not far from Newcastle, I think.
Oh, okay.
Let's say that's like Northumbria, isn't it? Newcastle way, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So that's,
I think I may have been up there,
Yeah, I should go there before writing this, but it's oh well.
That's what Google's there for.
Yeah.
So you've got this book out on Kindle and paperback on Amazon. Any plans for an audio version? We found a few people have found good success by bringing audio versions out. So have you looked into that, explored that?
Funny you should say that, because a friend of my son's has just the best voice. I've always said that to her since she was little. And I bought a microphone. I was going to do it myself, me being me. I'm like, how hard can it be? So we made a little area, and I sat and I recorded 5 hours of the book. I did. I recorded, but I did not.
Yeah.
I did not like the sound of my voice, though. I was, I'm gonna call it. I did a lot, but there are accents that need to be used in this book as well, and I'm terrible. Like, don't get me to try Liverpool. I'm hoping to get almost like a movie in your ear. I want different voices for different characters. So it hasn't started yet, but it will happen. Yeah, that's the goal.
Excellent. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh. So you mainly use Twitter. Terry spoke to you or got hold of you on Twitter. Are you using other social media to promote your books or your book? First book.
I do have
subsequent ones. Yeah.
I do have Instagram and TikTok as well. I'm barely on Instagram. I fly in, fly out of that. TikTok, I'll go in spurts. I'll do a week where I just go boom, 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 just to get it done, and then I'll walk away from it for a while. But Twitter's my main focus, and it's a good group on Twitter. I enjoy it. The writing community is solid over there. It's very helpful. A lot of helpful people.
Yeah. Going back a bit, you mentioned that you're a pantser when you're doing your writing. Do you allow the characters to come alive? When I say allow, do they do that? Do they come alive and sort of move in a different direction than what you'd had planned in mind?
That's the thing. I honestly, scenes will come out of me where where did that come from? Sincerely, as I go, and they develop as I just put it on the page, I have a general idea of who I want them to be. And then through dialogue, through action, it's a very fast-paced book. It's tricky because I have a lot of characters. So it's almost like conducting a symphony orchestra at times. You know, who's going to be in the next scene? What scene makes sense to come in now? You know, what would they be doing? What would they be saying? And it's like they have conversations in my head, the characters that come out and they develop that way, sincerely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, I don't even know how you would describe it. Organic, I guess.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
organic.
grows.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that you don't have a set writing routine or a word target as such. So do you have a special place where you go to write, you know, special retreat, garden shed, man cave, or, you know, that type of thing, or a room? Or because you've got a big family, you know, and you've got 3 children, haven't you? I think so.
Yeah, they're older. Thankfully, they're away at
Yeah.
university or just finished university. The ones I was at work, but got a little tricky during the pandemic because we were all on top of each other, and that's why it took some doing. I'll just go wherever it's quiet. You know, I'll go to a room here wherever people are not. I will go. I have a lap desk that I use. I even do it outside sometimes, on the furniture out there, wherever I can find a silent moment, because I do need silence. I'm bad for that. Some people play music. Some people are capable of doing it in a coffee shop with things going on around them. But I really do prefer not having any interruption happening. So yeah, I'm a silent writer. Absolutely. So wherever it's quiet, I've been in the basement before, I've been outside. Yeah, wherever I can get away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be for your book, you're working on the audio version. Is the hope that a Mr. or Mrs. Netflix are knocking on the door and say, here's a film deal?
Well, it's funny. It was never my goal, right? I'm writing a book to become a series or a movie, but I've had 3 individuals who I have nothing to do with say to me, I could see this be a movie or a series. So
Brilliant.
that put it in
Wow.
and these are people who aren't family or friends, this reads as a movie. Yeah. And the way I write, I visualize it. So it's like a movie to me in my head, but I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. And some people will post on Twitter the questions, would you like your book to be made into, or who would be the star?
Yeah.
Who's your protagonist? Who would star as your protagonist? And I'd never given that any thought at all. But as a joke, and I will stand by this, if it were to happen by some strange miracle, I would want to be like Stan Lee and have one scene in each of the
yeah. Cameo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would you like some fries with that, or some crisps?
Absolutely, yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? You've got to, haven't you? You've got to go for that, yeah. Yeah, just stood next to Mel Gibson or whoever it is who's playing the main part. Yeah,
I might demand a makeout scene then, not with Mel Gibson.
Lee Child appears in all of his couple of Reacher movies. With Tom Cruise, you see him, with a cameo role, instantly recognizable. Yep, there he is.
Yeah, that would be part of my contract if that ever came up. I just want to, show up somewhere. Yeah.
Or I want to kill Tom Cruise or something. Then you'd be a main character, wouldn't you? You'd be a main character then. But finally, because we are getting really short of time now, what advice would you give then to a would-be writer who's starting out for the first time? What would be your advice to them if they were planning to write a book and how to go about it?
I would honestly say don't strive for perfection, just write, get it out. That first draft is often nonsense. That first draft, there's often, a lot of garbage in there that needs to be removed, and don't panic. That's normal. Just write and don't finish the book. Finish it, but don't just keep editing that first chapter over and over again. Finish that book, write it all, and then you can go back and fix what needs to be fixed later. Just get that story out, because there's going to be someone who likes your book. there's going to be someone who doesn't like your book, but there's going to be someone who likes your book. So just prepare yourself for that too.
No, all good advice. We hear so many different stories, you know,
Yeah, we
because
do,
it's a big world out there, and there's a lot of authors, and they all have a different idea of the best way to do things. So it's always interesting to find out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the world needs storytellers right now. We need to be entertained. So, you know, write them, get them out there.
That's a brilliant message. Sheila, it's been an absolute delight chatting with you. Me and Steve, I know we've thoroughly enjoyed it. We don't need to confirm that.
Good. Me too. Me too.
Let's keep in touch as we have been on Twitter. And let's maybe talk again with volume 2 of Mac.
Okay, that would be great. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. But for now, Sheila, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
Great to meet
you. And you. Yeah, it's been great. It's been brilliant.
Thank you. Thank